Before we dive in, I want you to do something. Hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below telling me which historical survival trick fascinates you the most. This channel is built for serious history enthusiasts and survivalists who want to uncover the hidden tools that kept nations alive during some of the darkest periods in human history. Today we're uncovering the story of lost World War II crops, plants so resilient and nutritious they saved lives, yet are barely remembered today. These crops aren't just relics. They can inspire modern diets and survival strategies. By the end of this video, you'll have practical ways to incorporate them into your own survival planning or historical gardening experiments. Some crops survived despite bombings and rationing, proving they were true wartime warriors. During World War II, food scarcity was a matter of life and death. Across Europe, Asia, and even parts of North America, citizens and soldiers relied on emergency crops that could grow under extreme conditions. These were not the flashy hybrid vegetables we see in supermarkets today. They were hardy, often overlooked varieties that thrived on poor soil, minimal water, and extreme climates. For example, the Jersey Royal potato in Britain became a staple because it could grow in thin, sandy soils, giving families crucial nutrition when imports were cut off. Similarly, the wartime victory garden movement wasn't just about morale. It was, an exercise in survival horticulture, cultivating resilient crops such as rutabagas, salsify, and Jerusalem artichokes that could feed entire families through blockades and bombings. The forgotten salsify has a taste and endurance that modern gardeners should not ignore. Salsify, often called the oyster plant for its subtle sea-like flavor, was a silent hero in European gardens. It survived winters and poor soil conditions while providing a root that could be stored through months of scarcity. In practical terms, salsify can be grown in raised beds or directly in trenches in your backyard if you're experimenting with survival planting. The deep roots improve soil structure over time and create a reliable food source when other vegetables fail. For historians and survivalists, cultivating salsify offers a living link to the ingenuity of World War II gardeners and demonstrates how we can utilize crops that require less water, less fertilizer, and almost no attention compared to modern high-maintenance vegetables. Rutabagas provided dense nutrition when meat and dairy were rationed. Rutabagas, or Swedes as they were called in the United Kingdom, were a wartime staple for good reason. They are calorically dense, rich in vitamins C and A, and extremely easy to store for long periods. During the war, families would harvest rutabagas, slice them thin and bake, or boil them to supplement meager rations. Today they are often overlooked in favor of potatoes or carrots, but for a survivalist, they remain an invaluable crop. Practically, planting rutabagas in rows with at least 12 inches of spacing, feeding them with compost or wartime improvisations like wood ash and harvesting before the first heavy frost can yield months of nutrition. Their ability to grow under low light conditions also makes them ideal for indoor or greenhouse cultivation during winter months. Jerusalem artichokes were the hidden energy source for soldiers and civilians. Jerusalem artichokes, also known as sunchokes, were another secret weapon in wartime diets. They are tubers that store carbohydrates and can grow in virtually any soil, including rocky or depleted fields. In occupied France, civilians who had access to these tubers often had an energy source that could not be easily confiscated or destroyed. From a modern perspective, sunchokes can be used in permaculture setups because they produce high yields with minimal maintenance, provide edible shoots and flowers, and enrich the soil. Oats and barley were not just animal feed, they kept people alive. When we think of wartime crops, oats and barley rarely come to mind, but they were essential. During the war, these grains were cultivated in bulk because they could thrive in poor soils and resist harsh weather conditions. Microgreens and quick-growing vegetables acted as nutritional shock absorbers. Some of the smaller, faster-growing crops were literally life-saving. Leafy greens such as mustard greens, spinach and beet tops were planted in tiny plots or window boxes. They matured in just a few weeks and provided a quick injection of vitamins when longer-term crops were still developing. Chestnuts and acorns were unconventional but crucial sources of sustenance. Not all survival crops were vegetables. In heavily bombed or occupied areas, forests provided hidden sources of food like chestnuts and acorns. These nuts were rich in calories and could be dried, roasted, or even ground into flour. You can apply these lost World War II crops today for modern survival and diet improvement. The beauty of these lost crops lies not only in their history, but in their practical application. By growing them in small urban plots, backyard gardens, or survival homesteads, you're cultivating a living archive of wartime ingenuity. Start with one resilient root vegetable, expand into grains, and experiment with unconventional sources like Jerusalem, artichokes, or chestnuts. Rotate crops, save seeds, and test what grows best in your soil conditions. Each plant you grow is a tribute to the resilience of those who survived the war and a hedge against future food shortages. As we close, remember that uncovering these lost crops is about more than nostalgia. It's about creating self-reliance, preserving biodiversity, and learning directly from the survival strategies of our past. If this video has inspired you to try these crops or dig deeper into wartime survival techniques, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment sharing which crop you're most excited to grow, and share this guide with fellow history enthusiasts. Together, we can revive these forgotten heroes and keep their incredible survival powers alive in the modern world.